ናወይን እስከዛ ድረስ ሰውም አለ ቀጥታ ስርጭት ቀጥታ ዩቲዩብ እናገኝ እሺ በቃ
What's your name?
Daud.
I'm Pradeep. Nice to meet you. Does this work? Desperately need that. So let's play this one. Yeah. We run it from here. Is this your order? Yes. But I need two things. The sound is wireless. The sound is wireless. About HD. So I'm saying we do two. We just do two. Yes, let's check. Are you getting it? See? No internet. How are you connecting, man? Internet is amazing, sir. No data error. Yeah, no chance. I'm telling you, let's stream from this guy's. What's his name?
እንጀምር ወደፊት ጠጋ ጠጋ እንጀምር Good afternoon. Doctor. Yes. Okay. So apologies, we're starting our session a little bit late. It was unfortunate that it starts raining right on the time when we'll be starting our program. So we were waiting some people to come from the main event. Anyways, once again, I wanted to say Thank you very much for being here. I'm Yidan Kacho from World Vision Ethiopia. I'll be facilitating the session from now to 3:30. So this is World Vision Ethiopia's side event. As most of you have seen it in the website and in our social, the title is Invest in Nature, FMNR as a nature-based solution. So it is going to be a highly interactive and interesting discussion from a different dimension. We are very lucky to have academicians, government leaders, practitioners from World Vision Ethiopia. So you'll have quite a diverse perception toward this FMNR, how the academic says, how the practitioner says, how key government leader says it. So by the end of the day, I believe you'll get quite an important information about FMNR, Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration. Using this opportunity, for those of you who have traveled, once again, I want to say, welcome to Ethiopia. It was such an empowering plenary session that we had today, and it's a great pleasure to host the African Climate Summit. Saying that, let me invite our Operation Director, Stephen Court, for the welcoming remark.
Good afternoon, and thank you for braving the rain and the distance. It's quite away from the pavilion, but thank you for making your way over here. So on behalf of World Vision Ethiopia and the offices across Africa and across the world, it is my great honor to welcome you to this official side event in the African Climate Summit under the theme Investing in Nature, FMNR as a nature-based solution. Africa's climate story is not only about statistics or pledges or distant targets. It's about children and families and communities facing climate change every day. But from our experience on the ground as a pioneer in climate action for children, we also know that it is about degraded land that can come back to life. It is about hope rooted in soil, trees, and communities. So Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration, or FMNR, is simple but powerful. It is a low-cost, community-led, and already transforming dry lands into fertile fields. Across Ethiopia and Africa, FMNR shows us that with the local leadership, landscapes can be restored, harvests can improve, and children can have a brighter future. So this event is about more than FMNR as a practice. It is about how investing in nature means investing in people. It means children spending more time in school, mothers and fathers feeding their families even during drought, and communities building resilience while contributing to Africa's climate goals. It is about a future that is full of hope. And over the course of the next 3 days, you'll see and hear from amazing experts and our peers. But I urge you to listen to the voices of children. They'll be at our pavilion, which is over the way there. But you should know that all our programming at World Vision is also led by the voices of children. So today we're going to focus on FMNR, and we will hear from government leaders, from researchers and practitioners. We will listen to stories from the field and insights from science. And together, we will explore how FMNR and other nature-based solutions can be scaled up. not tomorrow, but starting now. So I warmly thank our panelists, our partners, and all of you for joining us today. Africa's green future will not be built in boardrooms alone. It will be built in the hands of communities who regenerate their land. So with that, I welcome you once again and look forward to an inspiring session. And now it is my distinct honor and privilege to invite our opening speaker, Dr. Abebao Shimelis, Policy and Social Economics Research Director at Ethiopian Forestry Development. Welcome.
I thank you. I thank you also the World Vision to invite me to this session. Let me read the keynote speech. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to join you today at this important side event, Investing in Nature, FMNR, a nature-based solution. I would like to thank World Vision Ethiopia for creating this platform. And I warmly welcome all of you who have gathered to share ideas and experiences. This event presents a vital opportunity to harness the power of nature to restore degraded lands, support livelihoods, and combat climate change. As someone who has worked for many years in forestry, policy, socioeconomics, and livelihood domains, I see climate change not as an abstract concept, but as a tangible crisis affecting communities across Ethiopia and other parts of Africa. The effects are clear and immediate. Dry fields struggling to produce, forests increasingly vulnerable to drought and intensified wildfires, and severe threats to food security. Crop failures and livestock deaths are becoming more frequent, pushing already vulnerable communities into deeper hardship. The ecosystems that sustain livelihoods are being eroded, underscoring the urgent need for decisive climate action. Ethiopia's leadership exemplifies how bold national strategies rooted in local ownership and grassroots action can generate transformative change. Central to this effort is Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration, FMNR, a simple yet powerful approach that empowers communities to actively restore trees and shrubs on their land. By harnessing the innate regeneration capacity of ecosystems, FMNR revitalize landscapes while simultaneously strengthening local resilience and economic well-being. This approach underscores a fundamental truth. Investing in nature is also investing in people, farmers, children, and future generations. It is a holistic, scalable solution that addresses multiple development goals, from climate mitigation and biodiversity conservation to food security and poverty reduction. Ethiopia's example demonstrates that with strategic policies, community engagement, and robust partnership, we can turn these solutions into lasting change. Today's discussion focuses on how we can scale these solutions. How can we transform good practices into effective policies? How can we create the right incentives and frameworks to bring FMNR and other nature-based solutions into the core of Africa's climate strategy? The future we envision, where ecosystems flourish, livelihoods thrive, and communities are resilient, depends on the bold choices we make today. Together, let's act decisively, because the time to invest in nature, empower communities, and restore our land is now. With these words, it is my honor and privilege to declare this session officially open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Operation Director, Mr. Seven Court, and Dr. Ababosh Mellis for a very powerful opening remark. So a lot has been said, and a lot of new insight and information will be provided from now on. As Stephen mentioned, as a World Vision, we are not here to promote FMNR alone, but we are here to promote FMNR as a solution to climate change, addressing the root cause of vulnerability for the children. So World Vision is a child-focused organization, and whatever we do, we strive to make a better life, a better environment for our children, because the future is for our children, right? Thank you very much for a very powerful and inspiring speeches, Dr. Abao as well. With this, let me pass the session to our environment and climate change lead, Diso Abeba. So he will provide you a very brief insight into what FMNR is and why FMNR. His presentation titled Accelerating Green Climate Action in Africa Through Low-Cost, Community-Led Nature-Based Solution. I hope you'll enjoy the session. Yeah, over to you, Adisu.
Thank you, Yunekacho. Thank you, everybody, for attending this session. And it is my pleasure to speak in front of you about FMNR. And in the following 20 minutes, I will speak about FMNR and how FMNR is a nature-based solution for addressing climate change and land degradation. In my presentation, it will include the challenges we face in Africa in terms of climate change and land degradation. And in the meantime, you will see also how FMNR can address this challenge and what is FMNR, how it works, and also I will present some of the evidences what we are going to say and what we have been said about FMNR. So I will show also how an investment on such smart and powerful practice is important. So when we come to the challenge, as you know, as an African, we are facing challenges in terms of land degradation. So it has been, as per the research, almost 65% of the most valuable lands of Africa is subjected to land degradation. From this, around 132 million hectare is cropland. So we can see the impacts of land degradation in Africa. So in addition to that, there is a disproportion of deforestation. So as, according to some research, in some African countries, the proportion of deforestation to afforestation is 300 per 1. So deforestation is very serious. In this case, the other drivers for land degradation is overgrazing and unsustainable land degradation. There are different factors, but the main factors are overgrazing and unsustainable agriculture. This also aggravated by the current and existing climate change. Climate change, when people are affected by climate change, especially poor farmers, they depend usually on their natural resources. So when they are affected by climate change, they will going to make further pressure on the existing natural resource. So the accumulated impact to the community will be food insecurity, poverty, and biodiversity loss, as well as conflict and migration. But although there are this challenge, but there is still an opportunity because land restoration can reverse this degradation. If we properly engage in suitable and appropriate restoration practices, we can also reverse this. So land restoration can increase food security, can also sequestrate carbon and recharge groundwater, as well as improve biodiversity. But the other potential is the international community is there. There are different international supporters and the pledges that's supporting land degradation in Africa. For example, nations of Africa, they pledges to restore around 100 million hectare by the end of 2030. So although there is a challenge, but also there is an opportunity that land can be degraded, degraded land can be restored, but still there is another challenge. We have ambitious targets in restoring land, but these targets are not, they are only, these ambitious targets are highest at a policy level, but at the ground level, these plans and pledges are not implemented. So this is one challenge. The other is, as I said before, the net forest loss is very big. The other is the conventional restoration approach. They use raising of seedlings and the planting of seedlings. So these are usually high cost and so, they have low survival rate. In addition, this restoration initiative, they didn't consider the underlying factor of land degradation, what I mentioned before. So this is another emerging challenge that needs nature-based or suitable solution. So still there are other potentials of restoring land degradation. As you know, nature by its own can regenerate without our immediate action. Nature can restore itself. As you know, the soil is a seed bank, and the stems in the degraded land also can be regenerated. So natural regeneration can be an important alternative for restoring land. But still, the conventional natural regeneration has another challenge. Unless we manage the natural regeneration process, we can harvest unpredictable impacts, and the result, sometimes when a land is closed, some pioneer species may appear. These species, may not be useful, and sometimes they are also alien species that has harmful impact on the existing environment, and they don't have also economic importance. Sometimes also natural regeneration may not properly work on severely degraded land where there is no soil and there is no viable stumps. So in this area and in this condition, we need to have an approach that farmers and the pastoralists manage, protect, and regenerate this important tree species from this degraded land. So from this process that natural FMNR as a natural restoration process developed. So let me define what FMNR is. As it has been said before, FMNR is a low-cost, effective method of restoring degraded landscape. It involves in Sorry. Anyways, FMNR originally developed by. Okay, that's great. Can you give me the earlier?
Previous slide.
Yeah. What? Next, yeah, sorry. Yeah, FMNR is a low-cost effective method of restoring landscape, and its genesis has some story. A young environmental conservationist of Australian environmental conservationist named Tony, he was working in Niger in 1984, while he has been working for decades for restoring drylands in Niger, but their efforts couldn't brought positive results because in drylands it's not possible and it's not easy to raise seedlings and plant seedlings and growing to trees because in drylands, as you know, there is a moisture constraint and there is also high temperature. So he has been doing this for the last 10 or 20 years. And he was not successful. So once he observed that natural regeneration from stumps and the trees can change this for a long, and so he decided to incorporate this approach in his restoration effort. Of course, natural regeneration is not new. And the farmers use for decades or for a millennia for regenerating trees with natural regeneration. But a value that Tony added is, as I said before, the natural regeneration may not end on the results what we need for. So there must be an objective to restore. So when farmers restore or regenerate trees, they have to select the best trees that can fit for their needs. This is one addition of Tony. The other is, if these trees are managed properly, if they are pruned and thinned, the growth of these trees will be very good. So a management practice of suggestion of Tony is another addition for natural regeneration. The third addition for Tony is farmers, as the name indicates, it's farmers managed natural regeneration involves organizing and train farmers for a better future. So farmers are organized with the cooperatives to restore their landscape, both at farm level and at the landscape level. So the process is community led, as different from the conventional one. It is people-centered, and the people are target farmers. They will sit together, and they put plan for the at landscape level restoration, so that they can achieve a good result. So this these three value addition by Tony brings the regular natural regeneration to farmers managed natural regeneration. Next. So the day of today's agenda for this summit is nature-based solution. As you know, nature-based solution, there are 8 criteria when we call a practice or an intervention to be nature-based, there are 8 criteria. So let me see how FMNR is according to these 8 criteria. The first one is addressing societal challenges like climate change, environmental degradation, food security, and poverty. So any natural regeneration intervention, including FMNR, has a positive result for reducing soil erosion and improve water retention. The other is when this ecosystem services improved, production will be improved, so for income and food security improved. The other is climate. As natural regeneration, that recovery increase, so it has both mitigation and adaptation impact, so it directly works for as a climate action. So this is one criteria. The other is designed at scale, scalable, replicable, adaptive, and no extra input. As we said, FMNR, that it doesn't involve raising of seedlings, and as you know, as foresters, you know, for large-scale plantation, we need to have detailed study for site and the species match, and a lot of investigation, a lot of investment is required. But natural regeneration, FMNR as a natural regeneration, doesn't involve all this investment, so it is also perfectly fit for its low cost and the replicability. Because, as I said before, FMNR is not it's not only about growing trees, but with the process, farmers are organized, supported to restore their landscapes at large scale level. So this makes it very replicable. The other is net gain for biodiversity. The other criteria is biodiversity. So as it comes from natural, from the soil, so it has a lot for biodiversity conservation. Next. Economic viability or, yeah, as I said, there is no much investment for FMNR, but there is a big outcome and return from this product, so it fits with this. The other is inclusiveness and the transparent governance. As I said, we were going to organize farmers, and we will have a governance, improve the governance system, so it's directly fit with this criteria. The other one is balance trade-off. FMNR, it balances economic benefits with environmental benefits. It also, as it improves governance system and the inclusion, it also trades off the competition between economic benefits and the social inclusion as well. The last two is adaptive management based on evidence. We have different evidences and documented evidences, FMNR approved, livelihoods and ecosystem, and sustainability. So we are working on people, not only working on the physical environment, so FMNR ensure sustainability. What evidence we have? Just to mention a few, recent research in Kenya, Central Rift Valley, food insecurity improved by around 30%, and household income raised up to 27%. Another study in West Africa, so 1,000 households, they earn around 70,000 USD per annum. So this is evidenced impact of FMNR. Next. So with the movement created by Tony Ronaldo in Niger, with the 2 decades, around 200 million trees restored on 5 million hectares, and we have also a successful experience in Humbo here in Ethiopia as a carbon finance project. We restored around 3,000 hectares. So next. Okay. This is simple comparison between FMNR and the conventional approach. Method is very clear. The cost is low cost. FMNR is community. It involves community engagement, and this, the benefit also. It's not only focusing on environment or physical things. With the FMNR focus also people. Next. This is a study made in Ghana. Return on investment. So within 3 days, I mean within 3 years, one Ghanaian dollar investment results around 6 Ghanaian dollar for social, environmental, economic value of community. So FMNR is high, has return of investment. Next. FMNR has also good potential for carbon market. We demonstrated here in Ethiopia. So farmers can get around, so far they can get around 1 million USD from FMNR from carbon trade. The other is, as I said, it has a big return of investment. So different business sectors can work with farmers with FMNR because FMNR has a big return of investment. Next. So this is, we are working now in Ethiopia, we are working on FMNR. Our very recent target is, we have very recent concept notes that are focusing on FMNR and carbon restoration. So if anyone who want to work with us, who want to engage with us for the coming 5 years, we have developed around 4 projects that has this benefit. The final one is everybody has a role for FMNR, so we are calling for private sectors, donors, and the community to invest and to work on this scalable investment. For donors, you need to support such viable practice. For policymakers and practitioners, you have to include FMNR in your strategies and in your policies, and the community has to engage in and supporting their initiative at the ground level. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adisu, for a well informative presentation. For some of you who might have come right in the middle of the presentation, so we have a globally proven methodology. We call it FMNR, Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration. Our environment lead, Adisu, was talking about FMNR. So simply summarizing, why FMNR? It's a simple, low-cost, replicable, and highly community-led approach. As a World Vision Ethiopia, we have been deploying FMNR for the past 20 years, starting from Tigray, southern Ethiopia, central Ethiopia, Oromia. If you visit any sites that World Vision has been working on, you can hear from the horse's mouth how FMNR is a very powerful tool in transforming landscapes. So you can scan the QR code, you'll get all the information that you need to know about FMNR. So thank you very much, Adisu, for a well informative presentation. Is that visible? Yes. Just to give you one tip, in 2023, FMNR, one of our projects, Regreening Africa project, that deploys FMNR as an approach, was chosen as one of the 7 most promising practice by UN decades of ecosystem restoration. So this is not an Ethiopian phenomena only, but as an approach, it is an approach that we are trying to scale at global level, and it is no more World Vision specific approach. Many organizations are now using FMNR as a key tool to restore landscape. With this, I will proceed to our next session. It is going to be a very interactive session. So do you want to still scan the QR code? Right after the panel discussion. Yes, thank you very much. So we're going to have a very interactive panel. So let me invite our host for the panel. Our moderator for the session is Nuguse Hagazi. He's a country representative for ICRAF. Where are you, Nuguse? Yes, please. The other panelist is Adisu Abebe. And we are really honored. So we are really honored to have Dr. Iyasu Abraha with us. Dr. Iyasu is Tigray region head of Bureau of Agriculture. Our other panelist is a veteran researcher from Hawassa University, Dr. Seshala. Please take your seat, please. Yes. The next panelist is Dr. Daniel Taddese, Ministry of Education. He's agricultural education curriculum expert, Dr. Daniel. Hopefully, Dr. Daniel will tell us a lot about how FMNR is being integrated in the national curriculum. Our last panelist is Dr. Alemayo Nagasa. He's a Planning, Monitoring, Reporting Manager at UNDP Ethiopia Forest Sector Transformation Unit. Dr. Alemayo has been with us for long. Yeah, thank you very much. Over to you, Nuguse.
Thank you very much, Nakacho. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So, as indicated, my name is Nugus, and it's really a privilege to be here. And of course, now the room is full. That's really interesting. And I think it's really a pleasure to welcome you all to this session, particularly related to the panelists, where we will talk about more just to capitalize on what Adisu said, but with some guided questions. And we know that, and I think many of you already informed what really the objective of this session particularly is really to share the African practical experience, particularly with reference as one of the nature preservation, but also shows FMNR link restoration, adaptation, involved livelihoods, but also really how we can identify a clear step really for our, we heard really a bit worrying from Adis's presentation. He said land degradation versus land restoration is like 300 to 1. So it's really, it tells us really a lot to work. So we'll discuss really more how FMNR could really fill this gap in many ways. So that's really an important topic. So I think with this, I don't want to really to go to introduce our panelists. Of course, it's really very important to give you a key highlight here in terms of really who are they. I hope many of you might know them, but it's really good to introduce Just a brief one. Let me start with my, I can say my former boss. He used to be our Director General for the Tigray Agricultural Research Institute, so I used to work there. So it's really a privilege to have here him, Dr. Iyasu Abra. He is the head of Bureau of Agriculture and Tigray and Natural Resource in Tigray region, and of course, a former Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resource in Ethiopia between 2016 and 2018. He has really over 3 decades of leadership and research experience in Ethiopia and agricultural sector, serving as Director General of the Tigray Agricultural Research Institute. But he has also really a proven ground experience. He used to head also one of the research center in Tigray in Mekelle, but also really have worked at district and the local levels in terms of really doing the practical as a ground level. So he has a PhD from in life science, and of course he have an extensive experience and across in crop science, agricultural extension, but of course with all the leadership and his engagement, he's also one of the champion in terms of natural resource management so it's really a privilege to have you here. And Dr. Tashale Amaniel, yeah, he's also an associate professor as a natural resource Ethiopian economic dean of Wonderganet College of Forestry and Natural Resource and Hawassa University currently. But he has really a very good experience in terms of spanning natural resource economics, forestry policy, climate change, sustainable development. He brings both academic and research, but also development-related works where he used to lead the Ethiopian Red Plus program before he joined as a dean of the college. So he has really supported many rehabilitation workers, and of course have a lot of community-based organizations working at different levels. So I think in brief, he's one of the key expert in terms of really this natural resource, but particularly with policy-related issue. So we know each other very well, so you're most welcome, Dr. Tashale. Dr. Daniel Tadessa is new for me, and it's welcome. It's a privilege to know you. He's a senior expert in animal production and curriculum development, currently serving as an agriculture education curriculum expert at the Ministry of Education. He holds a PhD in animal production from Addis Ababa University and has extensive experience in teaching, research, training, and policy development. So I think he has played a key role also in designing and implementing curricula and technical education, where FMNR really one of the key issue as nature-based solution and low cost, where we want really to be part of that whole process. So he has produced a lot of guidelines and manuals with more than 2 decades of service in academia and government. He brings strong expertise in livestock system, agricultural production, capacity building. He works, reflects committed to linking education, livelihood, sustainable development. So I'm really a privilege and welcome Dr. Daniel. Dr. Alamayo Nagasa is also a very close friend to me as well, and brings more than 8 years of rich experience in forestry, environment, climate change. He earned a PhD in forest policy and governance, and also in natural resource policy from Wageningen University, Netherlands. Currently he serves as a planning, monitoring, and reporting manager at the NDP, Ethiopia in forest sector transformation, where this FMNR also looking such really a very strong planning and monitoring and reporting aspect. So we are happy to have you. And of course, Dr. Alamaya has designed and implemented projects on natural resource management, biodiversity, climate change, while also advising government and institutional agreements. His expertise in global context, climate finance and policy negotiation makes him a strong advocate for scaling FMNR as nature-based solution. So I think, so welcome Dr. Alamayo. So you can see the diversity of the experts. So I think we will hear really an important aspect from their reflection. Of course, Addis is here with us, and some of the questions you have just may have them, and you'll ask when comes. So I think I will go, now I will go directly to some of the questions that we need to address actually through our panelists. So maybe you might have a maximum of 3 to 4 minutes actually to address like 3 questions. So you might spend 1.5 minutes per each. So this is a brief guide where we can start with. So I think still when one panelist is speaking, still you can maintain your questions and we'll have really question and answer session. So let me start with Dr. Alemayo. I think as we heard from his CV, he has a very strong in terms of policy and framework, particularly in forestry and this aspect. So how do you see FMNR contributing to Ethiopia's forest and land restoration goals at national level? This is one of the questions. So maybe I can add the second one, then you can address in all together. Why should FMNR be considered as a national and continental priority nature-based solution for Ethiopia and Africa? And how can it shape future climate and development strategies? That's also another question. So I think these are the key questions that we need. So if you spend 2-3 minutes, then we'll continue with that. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Nogusu, and welcome all to this session. Concerning the questions related to policies, and especially how can FMNR can contribute to the forest and land restoration goals of Ethiopia. As you have seen from the opening speech, as well as also presentation from Adisu, FMNR is really essential for achieving Ethiopia's forest and land restoration objective, because, as you know, about 85% of Ethiopian land is classified as degraded, as already stated by World Resource Institute. So this is really huge. And so actually, what kind of method, approach can really address this vast degraded land in Ethiopia? One of the approach is really this cost-effective, low-cost approach is relevant, because this requires huge resource actually to restore this vast area. So cost-effective approach like FMNR is really relevant to address this kind of large problems. The other qualities of FMNR actually also to support Ethiopian land restoration is it's actually roots to the existing system of farmers' practices. They use the existing root system, existing seed banks, because planting material, providing planting material is one of the challenge actually to restore this vast area. And FMNR, because it is actually dependent on the existing root system, stumps and seed bank, actually can overcome this kind of barriers of addressing or providing planting materials. And the other quality of FMNR actually to contribute to the vast or ambitious goal of Ethiopia of land degradation is scalability, because it's easily scalable, because this is led by farmers, by communities. So through this, as you know, Ethiopia has pledged to restore around 22 million hectares of land until 2030. So FMNR is actually at a pivotal, at central point to actually contribute to this ambitious. Coming to the second questions, FMNR as natural priority for nature-based solution, both for Ethiopia or also as a continent Africa. Why it is relevant? Because it's adaptable. So it is adaptability to different environments of Africa, as described already by the presentation by Mr. Adisu. Its work is in Niger, it works in the West Africa, Central Africa, and also East Africa. This actually signifies how this approach is scalable and relevant to vast African environment. Also, FMNR is mostly local owned, farmers owned, and it empowers community. That means actually that makes it very important for different conditions of Africa. Another important quality why FMNR is as a nature-based solution is important is it directly connects the people, improve livelihood. It connects nature because restore ecology, and also it addresses the issue of climate change. So these are the central point why this approach is really important, and to build community resilient and to build sustainable green approach. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Alemayo. So directly I will go to Dr. Yasu. Of course, as you came also from the region, you know that you have a lot of experience in terms of this one. So from your regional experience, what motivates farmers and communities to adopt FMNR? And how has really FMNR proven itself as a practical and low-cost nature-based solution in terms of really the Tigray experience?
Okay, good afternoon all. Thank you so much. By the way, when there is a rain during this session, I really appreciate World Vision because it's holy water. So we have to be, when we start the FMNR and there is holy water, it's really ideal. Okay, I came from northern part of my country. My name is Yasu. As he said, I am a researcher as well as also to policy people. So I really appreciate basically the FMNR because I was the one who embedded in my mind that Tony Lorando came to my region and advocate this one, and I became one of the relevant issue to make it feasible. Therefore, I think there are two issues basically in my region. There is push and pull factor. Why push factor? Because Tigray is a food insecure area. Food and nutrition security is a serious problem for my region and for Ethiopia as well. So if there is any solution, if devil comes also, devil is devil basically. But if devil comes and wants to improve my food security and nutrition, it is welcome. But FMNR is beyond. Therefore, one of the serious agenda why we institutionalize in my region is because it significantly enhances the food and nutrition security. Second, very important for push factor is degradation. You know, in my area is mountainous area. Basically, mountainous area is very important. Don't underestimate it. It's money by itself. Gold comes from the mountainous area. But generally, because degraded area is severely affected of the food and nutrition security. Without regreening, without planting trees, impossible to undergo the soil and water conservation activity. Because in my region, we are nearly working the whole year soil and water conservation activity, be it individually, be it mass mobilizations that we had in my region. Without soil and water conservation activity, no way to bring a change in my agriculture. Therefore, the second push factor is a slopey area. So without this one, is impossible. The third one is the climate change, as you see it. Sometimes drought, sometimes flooding, sometimes erratic nature of rainfall. Serious problem, by the way. But problem is on heaven, a challenge, and heaven, because you can produce quality product. The honey that we have in Tigray is really more quality. Therefore, if we conserve the nature, the biodiversity, it's incredible. Why the pull factor, by the way, as you know, in my region, basically, as with Ethiopians, the ADLI program that we had, agriculture and industrialization policy, we said it conservation-based agricultural-led industry. Without conserving the biodiversity, without conserving the nature, no way in Tigray to transform the agriculture. Therefore, it's a policy issue that we had before also. Not only now, but before 20 years, we were serving as a policy instrument that FMNR is one of the leading institutions that can bring within a short scalability, whatever, sustainability basically. Therefore, this is one issue. The second is the climate change. So we need a solution for combating so there are push and pull factor. I cannot say within 1 minute to elaborate everything, but it's a fundamental issue to transform agriculture in the Tigray. Therefore, this is one issue. Why is scalability? By the way, if it is sustainable agriculture that brings a change in a community, by the way, FMNR, thank you so much what you say right now, I can bring it to Tigray, it's farmer-led innovation. Because if you see, you can name it, by the way, it's a scientific name, there is a name, what we call it, Acacia albida. Fayadbida albida. You can name it, by the way, because I'm a crop scientist. Therefore, if you come in my region, they call it a local name, Momona. If you just address this kind of crop, it is a fodder crop. It fixes nitrogen. We are reducing by the external inputs in some of the area where it grows Acacia albida. You remember the Acacia albida that supports for fertilization. Nitrogen fixation is really important. By the way, negative physiology. When it is in summertime, it drops its shades. When it comes in the abandoned area, the dry land, it covers. Therefore, it's really incredible crop that in my region. Therefore, when it came to Tigray, you can see a lot of farmers that remains the Acacia albida in their farms. If you have 40 trees in 1 hectare, you can significantly reduce the utilization of fertilizer in your farm and increases production in production. Soil fertility enhancement, greening, yield increment, you name it. Therefore, I think this is scalable and farmer-led extension and also good for climate change.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yasu. And I think, maybe I want to pass to Dr. Teshale. And I think from your background or from the education, really we want to hear about what does research show about the ecological and livelihood benefits of FMNR. Of course, we heard some from Adisu. And how can universities help bridge the gap between research and community practice for wider scaling?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really very much happy to be part of this event because of two reasons. The first one is now it's time to celebrate the success from investing on nature. I would say there is nothing more than investing in nature. The second reason is I am really very happy because I'm going to talk about the return from that investment in nature. We invested anticipating that we will get some interest, you know. We invested in nature by the methodology, the FMNR, and now we are celebrating the return. So from this, the saving account nature has now is going to give us, or it has already given us, some interest return in terms of ecology, for example, improved soil health and productivity, soil fertility improvement, enhanced biodiversity, improved water infiltration, and also FMNR has made possible mitigation of climate change, and also it has helped us in adapting climate change. It improved ecosystem resilience. In terms of livelihood, the improvement in the natural capital, be it in terms of soil fertility, soil health, or whatever, has made us to improve or to capacitate the natural capital, and from that natural capital, productivity improvement has been possible. So this productivity improvement, this enhanced natural capital has made other capitals, be it social or physical or human or whatever capital, to be enhanced. In short, what I would say is the investment in nature through FMNR has improved on-farm income. Not only on-farm income, but also non-farm income. Also off-farm and on-farm income. So this has made households to be capable in getting their livelihood. It has capacitated them in that regard. For the sake of time, let me tell you something which I have observed when I, for the first time, visited Hombo area due to my student, my postgraduate student. And when we were talking about with people in the area, they said that they mentioned several benefits. And one impression that stayed with me until now is the way they narrated how FMNR has made possible productivity improvements. They said that before the FMNR, there was a huge wildlife problem. Wildlife has devastated their crops. But after FMNR, this has been improved, and I asked them why. They said, because of investment in nature, there was plenty of food in the forest itself, in that natural habitat for the wildlife. So there is no need for the wildlife to come to homestead and the crop area. So this is really very much interesting, and it stayed with me even after some years. So for the sake of time, regarding the university's role, what I would say is just engaging in a research, taking into consideration the FMNR areas as living labs, and also co-designing research with the community together. As a higher education, I commit on behalf of me and my institution just to generate knowledge and to disseminate knowledge with respect to the diverse dimensions of FMNR. I think my time is over.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Tashale. Yeah, we are struggling with the timing. So happy to hear actually with all the curriculums and of course as a university in different ways. And now I will go to Dr. Daniel. I think you will give us some time in brief. Then how can schools and curricula integrate FMNR in environmental education, just to inspire children and youth? And really, what role can young people play for scaling FMNR as part of climate solutions?
Okay, thank you very much. I come from Ministry of Education. In Ministry of Education, there are two sectors, the general education sector and the higher education sector. I'm working now in the general education sector now to integrate FMNR and environmental science subjects into the curricula and the school system. The best way is firstly to assess the different subjects that we have in our disposal. Then we make a review. We make review of the contents of the curricula, and we will find a good place where we integrate this FMNR issue. Then the process of evaluation continues. A series of sessions needs to evaluate the contents, and then validation comes. Validation comes, then we disseminate the material, the curriculum material, to different regions in Ethiopia for implementation. So what we did with World Vision Ethiopia when integrate FMNR issues is we made first consultative meeting, we took trainings, a series of trainings, then, as I have told you, we reviewed our curriculum material. When I say curricular material, we have student textbooks, teacher guides, we have co-curricular materials, we have supplementary materials. There are a lot of curricular materials in our disposal. So we took two parts, the career and technical education that is delivered in 11th grade and 12th grade high school students, and we took again an environmental protection manual from the co-curricular part. Then we inserted FMNR, the land degradation issue, the land restoration issue in the module. Now, as an agriculturist, we have different types of career clusters. Agriculture is one. In agriculture cluster, we have animal production and natural resource management. In natural resource management, we have one competency. You know, competency, it's a knowledge, skill, and attitude. So this competency is soil and water conservation competency. Then we inserted FMNR to be delivered to students, high school students, grade 12 students, in fact. The purpose of integrating FMNR in this module is as a competency, in fact, so that when students finish grade 12, they will start their own work, or they will be hired as a technical assistant, or they can take this knowledge. This is an innovative knowledge. I believe that this is innovative knowledge. I'm an eyewitness in Humbo area. We have heard a lot of things as before from the horse's mouth, so that this is scalable approach. This is an innovative approach. It goes beyond restoration in generating different diversified income for the society. So, attaching FMNR in the school system or in the curricula is, it assures the sustainability of the system. You know that in Ethiopia, different projects fail because of lack of sustainability. So if we embed this innovative approach and scalable approach into the school system, so that we assured its sustainability, so that the material, the delivery material, that is the grade 12 natural resource management module, will be delivered in 2025, next year, that means, so that the whole region, those students who selected this career pathway will have the knowledge, the basic knowledge, not only the knowledge, but they practice it, because it has got its own practical part, which is highly appreciable. That means. Maybe the second question. Okay.
Yeah, I think the good news is actually we heard a lot about how the modules and different aspects, and we heard that in 2025 this will be part of the system. That's actually something we need from the educational system. I think will come maybe for the next one, and we are really happy with all the details you gave us. I think because of the time, we want to hear actually 2 to 3 questions which are really very important to our panelists as well, or to Adisu. So sorry, Dr. Daniel, for interrupting, but we really capture a lot of points how the education system is also supporting these all aspects. So who was the one raised his hand? Let's give him first to you.
Thank you for the presentation. It's a really laudable initiative, FNMR. And of course, we're looking at what we can scale across Africa. We've heard a lot of good things, but I'm keen on knowing what are the barriers, what were the challenges you encountered while trying to implement this in Ethiopia, and who are the stakeholders that need to work together to bring it to life? So then the third question, what is the role of women and youth in implementing? Please, if you can touch on those three, that would be great.
Thanks so much. It was very interesting discussion. I would like to know from the panelists and my colleagues in World Vision Ethiopia, to what extent you are successful in ensuring FMNR is integrated in a national strategy. As you know, our Green Legacy Initiative is focused more on planting, reporters always in planting seedlings, but I believe FMNR and other assisted natural regeneration interventions should be considered and should be part of this kind of flagship program. So what were your efforts and what are plans for the future? Yeah, thanks so much.
Z? Yet?
So thank you. Good evening, everyone. So I'm not cut in English, so I'm speak in French. Ok. Bonsoir tout le monde. Moi c'est Garba Edemomoni, je viens de World Vision Niger et je peux dire encore que je représente World Vision de l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Alors c'est un plaisir quand même d'être là et de témoigner quand même toute la gratitude de toute l'équipe de World Vision Niger, également aux équipes sœurs. Et c'est une question que j'aimerais poser, mais avant ça, j'aimerais aussi partager en tout cas un projet que nous sommes en train de mettre conjointement avec World Vision. I don't know if someone can do the traduction. Yeah? OK. En fait, le projet dont je parle, qu'on met en place avec World Vision, ça consiste à initier donc les enfants dès le plus bas âge. Ces enfants, nous les appelons des enfants éco-héros. Et ces enfants, en tout cas, ils sont initiés dès le bas âge à apprendre toutes les techniques de régénération naturelle assistée, qui est quand même notre thème central ici. Et ma question, c'est de savoir, en dehors de Federbia albida, dont vous avez parlé comme espèce cruciale, donc espèce phare, dans en tout cas la promotion de la régénération naturelle assistée, est-ce qu'en Éthiopie, il y a d'autres espèces donc, qui sont vulgarisées dans le cadre de la promotion de cette technique-là? Merci beaucoup.
Let's have our translator and do
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Dago. I'm coming from. Yes, I thank World Vision and the panelists.
I thought you are translating.
No, I'm not translating.
No. Please go ahead.
Shall I get
please
permission?
Go ahead. Make it short, and I think we'll find someone.
Nagus, yeah. Okay. Nagus, yeah.
We find someone to translate?
Yeah, someone to translate the question.
Okay. I think my neighbor from Niger, because I'm from Burkina Faso, he just want to share experiences from Niger, one project from World Vision in Niger. And after that, his question is to know if we have other species, 3 species as Acacia albida. Albida, Federbia, you know, it's not the real name because I have a doctor here the name change, as you know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's have this quick response from our panelists and, of course, from Adisu. So I think I don't want to repeat the questions, but I hope you have them, so we can start with Adisu.
Okay, thank you. It's really very important question. The first one is what are the barriers and the challenges we are facing in implementing FMNR? Yeah, it's really very important. Yeah, the first barrier is open grazing. You know, FMNR, yeah, open grazing of livestock, because you know, scaling FMNR at landscape level, it involves communities to not let their livestock across the restored land. But you know, most of the land probably it was their grazing land, and they used the land for different purpose. So this is one challenge, but this challenge can be solved through, as I said before, we organize farmers into cooperatives. We will establish governance system for them, so we will let them know that they will benefit from that role. Yeah.
By the way, very nice national strategy versus world vision, the FMNR. By the way, our strategy in Tigrinya and in Amharic, we have 4 me. Me means makallal, enclosure. Second me means planting, matkal adil. The third is matabak, protecting the land, okay? And the fourth one is wise utilization. By the way, those are the strategy, not only, by the way, planting trees, and survival of the tree is the final stage. If you heard about the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister is planting trees, but not only planting, but also the survival and bringing up trees and come back. Therefore, I think the 4 issues that we had in my region and the whole nation is, by the way, this is already embedded in my strategy, in our strategy. It's already embedded, as you said, from the World Bank and also the CALM project, and also the carbon revolution, by the way. Ethiopians, we slept for the industrial revolution. Now we have to rise up for the carbon revolution. One of the solutions for carbon revolution is FMNR. Because it is a survival in dryland agriculture, you just plant it, everything. It cannot survive. But the nature based, when you just grown up, when you handle it, when you manage it, when you prune it, you will see within a short possible of time, water, harvesting water, and carbon trading, by the way, we are one of the regions that we are utilizing from the FMNR, carbon trading and carbon financing, income generation activity, you name it, by the way. Therefore, I think the climate change serious problem in my region is drought. After it was 3% coverage of the forestry in my region, now we have 16.8. One of the serious intervention is FMNR. That's why FMNR is one of the right arm for my region and for my country. By the way, scale up and use this strategy to make it afforestation, regreening, and food to reduce the food insecurity in your area. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I was expecting some response for Dr. Igremacho, but I think we can discuss because the time is a bit pressuring, and we need to also to move to another side event, and the other are waiting here. But I think it's really very important aspect. All the questions, I hope this will be an assignment for those who are engaged in FMNR. But my colleague here, she was asking us, this is male dominated, and we'll promise you we have a very good FMNR champions here, women like Malefia, Erdanos, but we couldn't really manage to bring in, but it's a very good comment. We'll consider that one. So I think with this, we heard a lot of things in terms of, or from our Niger colleague, yes, Spiderware albida, but we have really a very good potential like Balanitis ibjica, Ziziphus, Spina christi, which are also important species in your area. With this, I think as an assignment for every one of us, be it in any organization or bilateral partners, it's really very important to think how we can looking ahead to the next 2-3 years. What is the really key priority in our organization or in our entity area, how we can really take this FMNR into as a nature-based solution where we can really address the land degradation that we heard, how we can really minimize the gap between the land degradation and really land restoration using this FMNR as a proven practice. So with this, I hope you will mainstream in every of your organization, which is a key input for Africa as a whole, but also for the great greenwell countries, which are moisture stress and low fertility. So I think with this, I wind up my session, and really I appreciate the panelists with their rich experience, and we hope that we'll continue with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much all for being us here for 19 minutes. Please scan the QR code. All your questions, all the information that you need to have, you can find it in the landing page. And if you have an additional question, most of the staff experts will be around. You can further engage with us. Thank you very much.